Have you ever pondered why holding on to the past can often feel like a heavy burden? It's a question that, if we're honest with ourselves, we've all asked at some point. The past, with its memories, experiences, and lessons, can often feel like a mountain we're perpetually carrying on our shoulders. You see, we humans have a tendency to clutch the past tightly, wrapping it around ourselves like a thick, heavy cloak. We live in yesterday's regrets, last decade's failures, or the shadows of a childhood long gone. But the thing is, this weight only serves to hold us down, to restrict our movements and limit our possibilities. It's a yoke that bends our backs and dulls our spirits, keeping us from reaching our true potential. Often, we hold on to the past because it's familiar. It's a known quantity, a constant in a world of variables. But this familiarity, this certainty, comes at a cost. It prevents us from growing, from evolving, from truly living. It's like trying to walk forward while constantly looking over our shoulder. It's not only difficult but also dangerous. Now imagine if we could let go of this weight. Imagine if we could shrug off this heavy cloak of the past and stand tall, free and unburdened. This is not to say that we should forget our past or ignore the experiences that have shaped us. Far from it. Instead, we should learn from these experiences, take the lessons they offer, and then move on. Letting go of the past is more than just a physical act, it's a mental and emotional journey. It's about understanding that our past does not define us, that we are not the sum of our mistakes or our regrets. It's about realizing that we have the power to shape our own future, to write our own story. And so, we find ourselves at the precipice of a new dawn, a new opportunity. The idea of letting go can be daunting, but it's also liberating. It's a chance to break free from the chains of the past and soar towards the future with newfound vigor and hope. Imagine the relief and the freedom that comes with releasing this weight. Consider the tale of John, a man who once was shackled by the chains of his past. John's story is not uncommon. He was a man who carried the weight of his past like a heavy backpack, filled with rocks of regret, stones of sorrow, and pebbles of past failures. Each day was a struggle, as if he was climbing a steep hill with this overbearing load. His past was a ghost that haunted him, casting long shadows over his present. It crept into his dreams, transforming them into nightmares. It slipped into his waking hours, tainting his joy with a bitter aftertaste. It was a whisper that echoed in his ears, a relentless reminder of what he once was, what he had done, and what he had lost. This phantom of the past invaded his relationships too. It built walls between him and the people he loved, turning his heart into an isolated island. His relationships were strained, his bonds weakened. He was there, but not truly present. He was listening, but not truly hearing. He was speaking, but his words were hollow echoes of the man he used to be. His past was a chain that bound him, a prison that confined him. It was a book that he read over and over again, reliving each painful chapter, each agonizing paragraph, each tormenting sentence. His life became a loop, a constant replay of what was, what could have been, and what he believed could never be. His life was a canvas, but instead of vibrant colors and bold strokes, it was filled with shades of gray and faint lines. His life was a song, but instead of uplifting melodies and harmonious chords, it was filled with haunting notes and dissonant tunes. But John, like all of us, had the potential for change. He had the power to break the chains of his past, to step out of the shadows and into the light. He had the strength to rebuild his relationships, to mend the broken bonds. He had the courage to rewrite his story, to turn the pages of his past and begin a new chapter. He had the will to repaint his canvas, to recolor his life with vibrant hues. He had the spirit to rescore his song, to replace the haunting notes with uplifting melodies. Change was within his grasp, if only he would reach out and seize it. John's life took a turn when he realized the power of letting go. For years, John had been living in the shadow of his past, carrying the weight of old regrets, past mistakes, and missed opportunities. He was like a ship anchored in a harbor, unable to set sail towards the future because he was tied down by the past. But one day, something shifted. He woke up with a new perspective, a new determination. John decided to focus on his future. He realized that the past was not a chain that held him back, but a teacher that had given him lessons. He understood that he could not change what had happened, but he could change how he reacted to it. So, he started to let go. He began to release the regrets, forgive the mistakes, and accept the missed opportunities. He stopped replaying old scenarios in his mind and started dreaming about what could be. He traded his could-have-beens for will-be's. He decided to replace the narrative of his past with a vision for his future. He chose to stop being a prisoner of his past and become the architect of his future. And as he did, he noticed immediate changes in his life. He felt lighter, freer. His mind was no longer cluttered with what was, but filled with what could be. He started to see opportunities where he once saw obstacles. He began to find joy in the present moment instead of dwelling on past sorrows. His relationships improved, his career took off, and he found a renewed sense of purpose. He learned that by letting go of the past, he was not erasing it, but rather he was freeing himself from its grip. He was allowing himself to learn from it, grow from it, and move on from it. Letting go was not easy. It required courage, patience, and persistence, but it sparked a transformation in John's life. It turned him from a man trapped by his past into a man empowered by his future. It showed him that the key to moving forward was not in holding on to what was, but in reaching for what could be. Letting go was not easy, but it sparked a transformation in John's life. John's story is a testament to the power of letting go. When he finally released the heavy burden of his past, his life began to transform in ways he could never have imagined. The first noticeable change was in his relationships. No longer was he the withdrawn, guarded individual who kept people at arm's length. He began to invite people in, opening up about his experiences and fears. This newfound vulnerability didn't push people away as he had feared. Instead, it drew them closer. Friends, family, even strangers were drawn to his authenticity and openness. In his career, John blossomed. He was no longer held back by the fear of failure or the shadow of past mistakes. He began to take chances, to embrace opportunities, to strive for greatness. He no longer saw setbacks as failures but as learning experiences. He began to thrive in his chosen field, his confidence growing with each passing day. But perhaps the most profound change was in John himself. He was happier. Not because his life was perfect or because he never faced challenges. No, he was happier because he was free. He was no longer chained to his past, no longer defined by his mistakes or regrets. His past had shaped him, yes, but it did not control him. He had taken control of his life, choosing to learn from his past rather than be haunted by it. John's transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process, one that required patience, forgiveness, and a lot of courage. But it was worth it. For the first time in his life, John was not just surviving, he was thriving. He was not just existing, he was living. John's past no longer defined him. He was now the author of his future. His story, a testament to the transformative power of letting go, serves as a beacon of hope for all of us. It reminds us that it's never too late to let go of the past and embrace the possibilities of the future. What about you? Are you ready to let go of your past and embrace your future? It's an exhilarating thought, isn't it? Breaking free from the chains of yesterday and stepping into the bright, promising dawn of tomorrow. A future where the weight of the past doesn't drag you down but rather propels you forward. But how do you get there? Well, remember John's journey? He too was once held back by the burdens of his past, but he found the strength to let it go, to look ahead, and to take that first crucial step into the future. You too can do the same. Start by acknowledging your past, recognizing the lessons it's taught you, and the person it's helped you become. Because it's only by accepting our past that we can truly begin to move beyond it. Next, forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Holding on to resentment or regret only serves to hold you back. Instead, choose forgiveness. It's not about forgetting or excusing the past, but about freeing yourself from its hold. Then find your purpose. What drives you? What are you passionate about? What do you want to achieve? Having a clear vision of your future, a goal to strive for, can be a powerful motivator. It's like a beacon of light guiding you through the darkest nights and the stormiest seas. Finally, take a step. It doesn't have to be a big one. It could be as simple as writing down your goals or reaching out to a loved one you've lost touch with. The important thing is to start moving because every journey begins with a single step. The road ahead may not always be easy. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks. But remember, you're not alone. You have the strength within you, and you have the power to shape your future. Remember, your past is a part of your story, not the end of it. The next chapter is yours to write. So, pick up the pen and start writing your future today.